July the 4th, 1987. We're just on our way to the north. Heading north through Peace River and Manning, and on from there. We camped at a real nice camp spot 7 miles north of Meander River last night. Yesterday we had supper with Jim and Elsie at Manning. Quite a few flies here, but the weather's real nice. Just getting ready to pull out. July the 5th, 1987. We're just heading into the territories. It's just afternoon now. Just coming into Hay River. People fishing at Hay River. This is the drilling rig they're building here to take up to Prudhoe Bay. is Great Slave Lake from Hay River. This is on the Mackenzie Highway going across to Fort Simpson from Enterprise.
Did you see that rainbow?
Oh, isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Good.
That's a nice one, eh?
With flowers, but I put it in a can, give it moist.
These are the Whitaker Falls, east of Fort Simpson on the Mackenzie Highway. Guy's been traveling along. We've met him 2 or 3 times and he's got this new campground and he's going to try and go fishing. I don't know how he's going to do his time down there.
He's gonna fall in.
Steep banks on both sides here. Lots of good fishing holes here. There's a birch tree and a little pine and a spruce all trying to grow out of this rock. This one found a little crack to start growing and it didn't do too bad. This is a juniper, how it grows on here. It just kind of runs along, trying to find a place, a little bit of dirt to set root in.
My squaw made bannock. I'm gonna eat it. Camp set up east of Fort Simpson. I didn't have the power off.
Monday, June the 6th. We're just on our way into Fort Simpson. They have these little survival cabins along the way every so often. We dropped our trailer back at a service station back a ways so we could run in and see what Fort Simpson looks like. This one didn't quite make it. This is the ferry across the Liard on going to, if you're going to Fort Simpson. To get to Fort Simpson. This is right in Fort Simpson. This is Fort Simpson. This is where the Liard River runs into the Mackenzie at Fort Simpson. We just stopped for lunch at this campground and we came out of Fort Simpson and across the ferry. This is Nahanni Butte. We're looking up the Nahanni Valley.
There's an old brown dog in the big front porch and rabbits in the pen. I tell you all in.
We pulled into this campground last night, the park. It was nice in there. Just heading out this morning, heading north. We've just come through Summit Lake. We're just heading down over the other side. Followed the Tetson River all the way up to the top.
Right now.
Oh boy, that looks fun. This is a mountain just out of Toad River, BC. Clouds are really hanging in low today. This is the same mountain taken at another angle. It's called Folding Mountain. We're just coming down into Muncho Lake. This is just taken past Muncho Lake. This bridge across the Liard River.
That's mile 496 on the Alaska Highway.
This is the walkway into the Liard River hot springs. This is the Liard Hot Springs. Ferns growing along the path leading up to the bed of falls right at, or the bed of pool right at the Liard Hot Springs. This is the area a forest fire went through a few years ago. It really made it barren. Lupins and roses together. These lupins are a lot smaller than ours are, than the tame ones are. We're still traveling along the Liard, heading towards Watson Lake. This is about 60 kilometers south of Watson Lake. This little guy was in our campground at Watson Lake. We're all packed up and ready to leave Watson Lake campground, heading for Whitehorse. July the 8th, 1987.
Hard to get from there.
French George. I used to live in Whitehorse.
Oh, did you? Yeah. I'm just going to meet her brother. He lived in there.
For White Pass, oh yeah. I used to do White Pass lots.
Oh, they left. A couple of days back.
Yeah, we were in French Sen. We were, we lived out at Strathmere.
What river is this, Ray?
That's a lake.
What lake? then?
Swift River.
There's a moose over there in this lake.
Straight up to that mountain.
This is wild roses that were blooming along Teslin Lake. This is Teslin. And Teslin Lake. Miles Canyon at Whitehorse.
What do you want? A picture from both ways or just one way?
This way is prettier, Don, I think.
This way?
Don't you think? I don't know. The river's
This thing's
bigger
hard
here.
to walk on. It moves.
You can go on any of the rides at Callaway Park, except the merry-go-round. I think she went on it.
Francie and Ray clowning around.
My legs are like jelly. I can't even stand on there. I get sick. I try and go on the edge of it and I don't have it.
This is a suspension bridge across the canyon. Hi.
But once you go above it, you're in the timbers, eh? Must be the original timbers.
Shit, there's hiking trails back there for miles.
Yeah.
All the way, and it goes probably for about 2 miles, and then you hit the Yukon River, and you're on hills like this.
How'd you like to ride a
All like
motorcycle
this,
down
and
through here?
it's pretty.
Hey, that'd be lots of fun
Go
if
for a walk here.
And unload the trikes.
Jesus. I'll go for a trike drive, huh?
No, down up there, right, we went away up down.
looks that close.
Well, let's see what
He
he
is that close.
Can you get him out?
No, you have to.
We're just coming into Whitehorse. Dam at Whitehorse. These are the gates for the salmon that go up.
Wow, good.
I would think good. Oh, there he is. He never had all that down before.
Looking across Whitehorse from up at the trailer court where Francie and Doreen used to live.
Down for pictures and stuff, but you could take them up here and watch them burn. This is the hill where Tammy said that her boy threw her bike down over there. So Francie climbed all the way down that hill looking for her bike, and he packed his tricycle up, and it wasn't hers. This other little boy said, "That's my
right
bike."
to the bottom of that son of a steep thing.
Tammy said, "Some little boy."
Stayed at the Pioneer Campground last night. Just leaving May the 9th. Whitehorse. being taken in the museum in Whitehorse.
Miles Canyon. Yeah, these
Is it one of the teachers here?
Yeah.
Yo!
Get your face up, Conan. We're just going to go through it for a tour through this boat at Whitehorse. This is Lake Labarge, just out of Whitehorse. Lots of nice rose bushes along the roadways. This one's just by Lake Labarge. We're traveling down the highway just south of Carmax. the night just south of Pelly Crossing, right on the banks of the Yukon. It's a real nice little campsite. July the 9th, 7 minutes to midnight on the Yukon River. Sun's just dropping behind a hill. A rainbow at midnight. This is Pelly Crossing. We're just crossing the Yukon at Dawson City on the ferry. Going to find a campground on the other side.
If
This is the ferry pulling in on the Dawson City side. Midnight, July the 10th, on the streets of Dawson City.
They can cross the Yukon River right at midnight.
This is a garden in Dawson City.
Lady that's known as Lou. Well, from out of the night which was 50 below and into the din and the glare, there stumbled a miner fresh from the creek, dog dirty and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with one foot in the grave, and scarcely the strength of a louse. As he tilted his poke of dust on the bar, and he called for drinks for the house. Well, now there's none could place that stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue. And we all drank his health, and the last one to drink was Dangerous Dan McGrew. Well, there's men that'll just grip your eyes and hold them there like a spell, and such was he, and he looked to me like a man who had lived in hell, with a face most hair and a dreary stare of a dog whose day is done. He watered the green stuff in his glass, and the drops fell one by one. Then I got to figuring who he was, and wondering what he'd do. I turned my head, and there watching him was the lady that's known as Lou. When the ragtime kid was having a drink, and there was no one else on the school, and a stranger he stumbled across the room, and he flopped down there like a fool. And in a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt, he sat, and I saw him sway. Then he gripped those keys in his taloned hands. My God, could that man. Have you ever been out in the great unknown and the moon is awfully clear, and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence that you most could hear, and only the howl of a timber wolf, and you camped there in the cold, a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for that muck called gold? While high overhead, green, yellow and red, the north lights swung in bars, then you've got a hunch what the music meant. Hunger, and the night, and the stars. And hunger not of the belly kind, that's banished with bacon and beans, but that awful hunger of a lonely man for a home and all that it means. For a fireside far from the cares that are, 4 walls and the roof above, and oh so crammed full of cozy joy, and crowned with a woman's love. A woman dearer than all the world, and true as the heaven is true. My God, how ghastly she looks through her rouge, that lady that's known as Lou. Then all of a sudden the music changed, so soft that you scarce could hear, and it seemed as if your life had been looted clean of all that you once held dear. That someone had stolen the woman you loved, and her love was a devil's lie, and the best thing for you to do was to crawl away and die. Well, now it was the crown and cry of a heart's despair, and it thrilled you through and through. I guess I'll make it the spread misere, says dangerous Dan McGrew. Then music it almost died away. Then it burst like a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and my eyes were blind with blood. I thought went back to an ancient wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash, and the lust awoke to kill, and then the music it stopped with a crash. Well, now the stranger he turned, and his eyes they burned in a most peculiar way. And in a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt, he sat, and I saw him sway. Then his lips went in a kind of a grin, and he spoke, and his voice was calm. And boys, said he, you don't know me, and none of you care a damn. But I want to state, and my words are straight, and I'll bet my poke that it's true, that one of you is a hound of hell, and that one is Dan McGrew. Well, I ducked my head and the lights went down, and two guns blazed in the dark. A woman screamed, and then the lights came on, and two men lay stiff and stark. Pitched on his head and pumped full of lead was dangerous Dan McGrew, while the stranger from the creek lay clutched to the breast of the lady that's known as Lou. Well, now, these are the simple facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know. They say that the stranger was crazed with hooch, and I'm not denying that so. I'm not as wise as you lawyer guys, but strictly between us two. The woman who kissed him and pinched his poke was that lady that's known as Lou. And the Arctic trails hold secret tales that'll make your blood run cold. And the northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Well, now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. And why he left his home in the south to roam around the pole, God knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, and he'd often say in his homely way that he would sooner live in hell. Well, now it was Christmas Day, and we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold to our Parker's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. And if our eyes we closed and our eyelashes froze, till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. Well, that same night as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were all fed and the stars overhead, they were dancing heel and toe. He looked at me, and Cap, said he, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you. Now you'll not refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low, I couldn't say no. And he said with a sort of a moan, it's that awful cold that's got right hold, and it's chilled me right clean through to the bone. Now it ain't been dead. It's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. And I want you to swear, foul or fair, that you'll cremate my last remains. Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I wouldn't fail. And we hurried on at the streak of dawn. My God, he looked ghastly pale. He was crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. Well, now there wasn't a breath in that land of death as I hurried horror-ridden, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh and it seemed to say, you can tax your brawn and your brains, but you promised true, now it is up to you to cremate these last remains. Well, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. And in the days to come, though my lips were numb, my God, how I cursed that load. And in the long, lone nights by the lone fir light, and the huskies around in a ring, they howled out their woes to the homeless snows. My God, how I loathed that. Every day that quiet clay seemed heavy and heavier to grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I was half mad, but I swore I'd not give in. I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it would hearken with a grin. Then I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay, and I saw in a trice it was jammed in the ice, and it was called the Alice May. Well, I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and then I looked at my frozen chum. And here said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. And some coal I found that was lying all around, and I built the fuel on higher. The flames they soared, and the furnace roared. Such a blaze you'll seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in that glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I took a hike, because I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks. I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in its inky cloak went streaking down the sky. Well, now I do not know how long in that snow I wrestled with grisly fear. But the stars came out and they jumped all about ere I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said I'll just take a peek inside, because he must be cooked. And it's time I looked, and then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile that you could see a mile. And he said, oh, come on, eh, will you please close the door? It's fine in here, but I gravely fear you're gonna let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, this is the first time that I've been warm. Well, now there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. And the Arctic trails hold secret tales that'll make your blood run cold. And the northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. You're scared as a child, and death looks you bang in the eye. And you're as sore as a boil, it's according to Hoyle, to cock your revolver and die. But the code of a man says live all you can, and self-disillusion is barred. In hunger and woe, it's dead easy to blow. It's the hell served for breakfast that's hard. You're sick of the game? Well, now that's a shame. You're young and you're brave and you're bright. You've had a raw deal, I know. But don't squeal. Buck up and do your damnedest and fight. Because it's the plodding away that'll win you today. So don't be a piker, old pard. Just draw on your grit. It's dead easy to quit. It's the keeping your chin up that's hard. Oh, it's easy to cry that you're beaten and die. It's easy to crawfish and crawl. But to fight, and to fight, when hope's out of sight, that's the best game of it all. Though you come out of each grueling bout, all broken and beaten and scarred, just have one more try. It's dead easy to die. It's the keeping on living that's hard. And St. Peter cried, "Who waits outside them gates so bright and pearly?" "I'm recent dead," the sourdough said, "and I crave to visit Hades, where happily pine some friends of mine, including certain ladies." Says Peter, "Go, you old sourdough from earth so cruelly riven. And if you fail to find their trail, well, we'll have a snoop round heaven." He waved, and lo, that old sourdough fell down to hell's red spaces, and though it was hot, he failed to spot those old familiar faces. Well, the bedrock burned and the sourdough turned, and he climbed with footsteps fleeter, the stairway straight to heaven's gate, and there, of course, was Peter. "I cannot find my friends," he cried, "amongst those damned forever, but I've a hunch some of that bunch in heaven I'll discover." Said Peter, "True, and this I'll do, since sourdoughs are my failing. You see that bunch in paradise lined up against the railing, as bald as coots, in birthday suits, and beards below their middle? Well, I will let you in right now, if you can solve a riddle. Amongst that bunch of codgers who dot around the portals is one whose name is known to fame. It's Adam, the first of mortals. And for quiet's sake he takes a break from Eve, who is his madam. Well, now there's the gate, to crash it straight. Just spy the guy that's Adam. Well, the old sourdough went down that row of greybeards ruminating, and with optics dim they peered at him and they pressed against the grating. And in every face he sought some trace of our ancestral father, and though he stared, he soon despaired, the faintest clue to gather. Then suddenly he whooped with glee. Aha! An inspiration! And up and down that row he ran with animation. And to Peter bold he cried, "Behold, all told there are 11. Well, suppose I fix on number 6. Say, boy, how is that for heaven?" "By gosh, you win," said Pete. "Step in. But tell me how you choose them. They're like as pins, all could be twins. There's nothing to disclose them." Well, the sourdough said, "It's true, my head was seething with commotion. I felt a dunce, then all at once I got a sudden notion. I stooped and peered beneath each beard that hangs like fleece of mutton. My search was crowned. That bird I found ain't got no belly button. I've loved you so long, and now I must bid you goodbye. I filled you with laughter. I thrilled you with song. Sometimes I wished I could cry. Your walls have witnessed a weariful fight, yet rung to a one Waterloo. But oh, in my triumph, I'm dreary tonight. Goodbye, little cabin. Your roof is bewhiskered. Your floor is aslant. Your walls seem to sag and to swing. I'm trying to point out your faults, but I can't. You poor, tired, broken hearted. Oft times you have been the best friend that I've had. Your lamp like a gem in the snow. You're sort of a part of me. Gee, but I'm sad. I hate little cabin. Beneath your cracked window, red raspberries fly. A hornet's nest hangs from a beam. Your rafters are scribbled with Adigan rhymes and dimmed with tobacco and dreams. Each day has its laugh. Don't worry, just work. Such mottos reproachfully shine. Old calendars jangle, what memories lurk within you, old cabin. I hear the world cry in the clang of the fight. I hear the hoarse cry of my kind. Yet well do I know as I quit you tonight that it's youth that I'm leaving behind. And often I'll think of you, empty and black, and your moose antlers nailed over the door. And if I should perish, my ghost will come back to dwell in your cabin once more. How still, sad and lonely, how dreary you seem. One last wistful look, and I'll go. Will you remember the lad and his dreams? The lad that you comforted so? The shadows enfold you, and it's drawing tonight. And the evening star, it needles the sky. But oh, how it's stinging and stabbing my sight. God bless you, little cabin. Goodbye.
These are taken on Bonanza Creek. This is right near the first gold claim. This is where it all started, up Bonanza Creek. This is taken from up on top of the dome.
It's cooking, Jim, eh?
Well, really, Henderson found it.
Oh, Henderson, yeah.
He told them about it. They went and
Staked it off.
That's just what I was telling her. Just imagine them guys beating their way up that.
And the price, when I left it, the price gave me $50. Used to a couple of them. But now, like, you get buried in the company anyway.
This is the old RCMP graveyard at Dawson City. This is the bank that Robert Service worked in when he was up at Dawson City. July, Saturday the 11th. We're just heading into the on the Dempster Highway, heading for Inuvik.
6 o'clock at night.
6 o'clock at night. They never knows when to stop. We're still traveling up the Dempster Highway.
Right up one of the divides.
Quite a bit of snow, ice up here yet. There's a real bad storm down the valley. We just had a flat on the trailer. So far that storm has stayed away and the sun is shining. Just about got it back on.
You're supposed to take the good parts.
Storm's gone ahead of us down the valley. July the 12th. They're just packing up ready to leave the campground. We stayed in the second one up the Dempster Highway. This is that cotton-like flower that grows all along the Dempster Highway way up high. We're only about 20 kilometers out of Eagle Plains right now. This is fireweed along the highway just before your Eagle Plains. This is a ptarmigan. It's hard to see. I'm going to try and get closer now. We're looking across at the Richardson Mountain Range. This is just before Eagle Plains yet. The Arctic tundra. We're about 170 miles out of Inuvik here.
Pull the thing off.
just crossing the Peel River on a ferry. It's Fort McPherson.
Okay.
This is the highway past Fort McPherson. This is Arctic Red River. And the Mackenzie River in the background. We're just putting in to dock with the ferry for Arctic Red River. It's 8 o'clock at night and the sun is still hot. July the 12th, 15 after midnight. This is Inuvik. The sun is still high in the sky. the water travels all down these pipes on top of the ground because they can't dig into the permafrost.
Past 12 at night.
The buildings here are all built up on stilts, kind of above the ground, and the water and the heat is just underneath there.
There's water right between the buildings.
Between the ground and the building.
Okay. Fort McPherson.
Taking on our way home. This is white fireweed. We just found one spot of it along the road just before Eagle Plains.
There. These pictures are taken after midnight, south of Eagle Plains. That's our camp south of Eagle Plains, 15 minutes after 12.
That's the seismic line going up over the hills. We're looking over at the Ogilvy River way in the distance. And that's the road coming in on top of the hill, where we have to go out yet.
I'm not going.
Clouds are low again this morning. We're driving right up into the clouds here. These are still the Ogilvy Mountains. Ray caught a nice grayling. We caught our limit right after Ray caught the first big one. And there was lots more left. Come down here, they were trying to go up this spring. It's just a little wee stream. We caught them in this hole down here. You can see them swimming around right on the edge here. Look at them down there swimming right on the edge.
Right about now. Got him?
Yeah.
Okay, come hold the bag up.